So, good afternoon, everybody. Allow me to welcome you all to a special session on MSME. We are privileged to have Mr. Paramanik with us. He is the advisor for the MSME, and he's kind enough to give us time with a single request. He's kind enough to give us time to explain about MSME and discuss about the different facilities extended to the service sector, especially in view of the announcement made by our honorable finance minister, Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman. We are also privileged to have with us today Mr. Pranav Sarkar, Honorable President, Indian Association of Tour Operator, and Honorable Mr. P.P. Khanna, President, Association of Domestic Tour Operators of India. Welcome both of you to this webinar on SMME. And I am thankful to Mr. Chetan Gupta to help and assist me to organizing the entire webinar for our member in West Bengal. We have also opened it for the non-members in Bengal, like non-I282I member, because of the simple reason that we believe that this is the time of crisis, and this is the time we have to be together, fight together, work together to take it further and take it ahead, after this COVID crisis. So first, I would like to request Mr. Sarkar to say us tell us few words, and then Mr. Khanna. Then we will start talking to Mr. Priyabhuta Paramanik. He will explain us about what is MSME, what are the benefits, and what are the additional benefit which has been extended to us. So starting with Mr. Sarkar, please. Sir, unmute. Dada, unmute yourself.
Yeah. Thank you, Devjit, and good evening to all the members. Good evening, Mr. P.P. Khanna, Mr. Priyabhuta Paramanik, and Chetan Guptaji. Thank you. This is a good session that it is coming up with MSMEs. All the members can participate in this, and we will hear from Mr. Paramanik about the benefits, how it is. And we will also like to know from Mr. Paramanik that is it necessary that everyone has to be a registered member of MSME, or non-MSMEs, how they will be connected to this facility? The government is going to give certain benefits, whether tour and travel, the tourism sector is also benefited out of that, because due to COVID-19, our businesses totally stand still. Very difficult for us to manage the as you know, even domestic tourism, it may not start before September. So therefore, this crucial 5 to 6 months is very difficult for all of us. So how we can be benefited from this announcement, and how we can all get into involve ourselves in this kind of benefits, and go to the government and look for some help. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Sarkar. I now would like to request Mr. P.P. Khanna to say us few words, and then highlight a specific area which Mr. Paramanik can focus on during his discussion.
Good evening to everybody, and thanks, Devjit, for organizing this webinar for the the members to know about the MSME. And till date, the people, all our tour operators were not even aware of the MSME, that they have to register in that. Though it came in 2018, if I'm not wrong. When after that, there was no kind of a, sincerity and sincerely about that, how to register it and how to do that. Particularly if I am talking about the domestic tour operators, they are very small and medium-sized tour operators, 2-3 people to 900 members basically, and about 11 chapters pan-India. But the thing is, after the COVID-19, the new collateral-free automatic loan on MSME, which has come, and with the no guarantee required period 4 years from the government, central government, which is really not actually, basically, we are not aware of that, but what exactly, how we have to go? Is it really necessary that we should go for the MSME, first of all? And does our tour operators comes under the MSME? That's another, because a lot of people, they have still confusion that it is only for the manufacturing units, whereas that it says also the service units also. And stress MSME, which is subordinate digital of 20,000 crores actually. So what exactly is actually the government has announced, and what benefit our members can really avail out of that if they really register under the MSME? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna. Now, Mr. Paramanik, as we all are eager to hear from you, we will divide this entire discussion into three different segments. One is why MSME and what are the benefits to become MSME registered for, especially for the tourism sector, the tour operators, the hospitality sector. Here, basically, we represent two of the national bodies of tour operators. One is Indian Association of Tour Operators, another is Association of Domestic Tour Operators, along with some other local bodies are there. So first, we'd like to know why MSME and what are the facilities and benefits becoming a member, getting registered with MSME. Second, I would like to request you to highlight the process. I think it's a very simple process. It just takes 15 minutes to register. Maybe you can tell us few, guide us, for the people who are not yet registered. And of course, the last sector, we will be focusing. I would like to request you to kindly focus on the additional benefit which has been extended by the Ministry of Finance as per the announcement given by done by Mr. Sitharaman, Honorable Mr. Finance Minister yesterday. What are the additional benefits like tourism sector, the service sector is getting? Highlight those issues, and then there are a couple of other questions. After that, we will take questions from our members. Members can raise their hand, and Chetan would help us to unmute the member. He can write the question on the chat box, or directly ask the question. So we will finish this entire session within next 1 hour. So over to Mr. Paramanik, please. Thank you very much for joining us and giving your valuable input. Please,
okay, thank you, Mr. Dr. It is very good and nice of all of you to invite me to explain the processes. I'm really obliged that you have invited me. Issue is that as the word stands, MSME means micro, small and medium enterprises. So there is three distinct categories, one for micro, one for small and one for medium. So you see that large industries or large enterprises are not included into this MSME sector. There are separate rules, separate regulations for them. The criteria of MSME till yesterday. One for service sector, one for manufacturing. That criteria has been changed from yesterday. The notification is coming either within 2 or 3 days. But from the press conference of the finance minister, you have seen now the manufacturing and services sector, it has been clubbed together. Your travel and tourism industry comes under mainly the service sector, since there is no such manufacturing part. So the lower threshold of the services from manufacturing now has been merged into one. What are these criteria? So that if your investment be up to 1 crore, and if a new concept has been introduced from yesterday's meeting, that is turnover concept. At the press conference of the finance minister, you have seen that this new concept has been brought in, that either you have a turnover of 1 crore or either you have an investment of 1 crore up to 1 crore or a turnover of 5 crore. That defines your micro.
So it is or. It is or. Either 1 crore or 5 crores or.
No. It is, yes, it is either your 1 crore of investment or up to 1 crore of investment, because micro is the minimum threshold. There is no such thing less than micro. So any MSME, any your travel and tourism industry, any entity, it cannot go beyond micro. So that ceiling is that for if you have some investment in hotel or any cars or any such other movable or immovable thing, if you have an investment up to 1 crore, then you fall into the micro. If it exceeds 1 crore, then it goes beyond that.
Okay.
And if your turnover for 1 year is up to 5 crore, then you comes under micro. Similarly, there are other ceiling for small, there are other ceiling for medium. That it is all available. It notification you will get within a day or two. Now the maximum thing is that the entire what has been denoted is that your maximum investment has to be within 20 crore and your turnover has to be up to 100 crore. So that is the limit. So it has to be from 0 to 20 crore in investment or 0 to 100 crore in turnover. That is the limit of MSME. So if someone's investment is more than 20 crore or if someone's turnover is more than 100 crore, then that entity, company, corporation, proprietorship concern, LLP, whatever be the identity of that business company, so they are outside the MSME, they will be dealt with differently. That is the first issue of definition. Secondly comes what has been asked, what is the benefit if you are registered under MSME? There are several concessional loan, there are several subsidy. That means part of it is loan, part of it is subsidy. Supposing if I am just telling you one scheme, credit linked capital subsidy scheme for technology upgradation of small scale industries. Suppose you want to introduce something new with some technical upgradation, etc., which is falling under your travel and tourism industry. Supposing you operate some non-AC car, you want to travel some super AC or fast car for upgradation, that comes under upgradation. So for that additional capital requirement, you can tell the government that I am under this scheme, I am under this issue, this is my investment, I want to upgrade it, I want to modernize my office, I want to install my computers, I want to launch some website or any such thing which comes under this technical upgradation. For that, government, you can ask for 1 crore loan. Out of that 1 crore loan, you get 25 lakh subsidy. Subsidy, as you know, it is not repayable. That is your own money. So that meets your working capital. 25% of this is met by government to meet your working capital needs. That is not repayable. And the balance 75% is repayable. Now with the introduction of the new scheme, 3 lakh crore has been given under this scheme as announced by the finance minister yesterday. So what happens is that if you want to upgrade your business or you want to expand your business or any sort of business needs, you require anything. So you can apply under this and you get some kind of subsidy and also loan. Thereafter, what you were telling that I have to pay for rent, I have to pay for employees' salary, or any other office expenditure, which is normally your revenue expenditure, not capital expenditure. But the additional revenue that you generate through this upgradation, you can meet from this subsidy amount. That is one issue. There are another scheme, say Credit Guarantee Trust Micro Small Enterprises. This is not available for medium size. Huge amount has been earmarked yesterday by the finance minister for this scheme. Credit Guarantee Trust means if the government stands guarantee for your credit amount. You don't have to furnish any guarantee. I think every one of you are aware that if you go to a commercial bank, the first thing bank asks is what guarantee you are furnishing for obtaining some loan. Even for a CC amount, then you have to furnish some kind of guarantee or mortgage, some fixed deposits or NSC or whatever, some sort of anti-bank manager asks you. These schemes, if you come under MSME, since these are government schemes, these are not bank schemes. So the government or the Ministry of MSME is standing guarantor for your loan. That means if you don't pay the loan will be paid by the Ministry of MSME to the bank. So you don't require any bank guarantee for that, and you can curtail or you can save a lot of expenditure for not providing the guarantee. Another scheme I am referring to, supposing you have a loan, the interest is very high, you are unable to pay that high rate of interest. You can change that loan under MSME and government will provide you, this is called interest subvention scheme for incremental credit to MSMEs. So if you change your loan, you can take some additional loan also, not a big issue. Up to 2% of your loan will be paid by the Ministry of MSME, by the Government of India. Means if there is some existing loan, commercial loan you have taken say at 12%, then that loan interest will come down to 10%. If you have taken some loan at 10%, it will come down to 8%. Currently, at present, what we are seeing that we have requested the government, and at present for MSME loan, the minimum, there is varying rate of interest, but the minimum rate of interest which can be applicable for tourism and travel industry is 5% interest loan. So you can understand this 5% rate of interest at 1 crore loan if you get. So that takes care of a lot of things. If you don't have a huge interest burden, you can think how to meet up your other expenditures. I understand that there are a lot of expectations that government will pay something regarding to mitigate your expenditure burden on your salary payment to employees or your rent. Right now, that kind of thing is not available. But if you get a sizable loan which fits into your business, then you can definitely avail of that concessional loan at 5% rate, and you can mitigate that. And if more than that, if you get some kind of subsidy on that loan, that is not 5%, that is subsidy loan is a little higher interest, but if you get a 25% subsidy, so that can take care of a lot of things. Out of 1 crore, if you get 25 lakhs and 75 lakhs as loan, you can take care of a lot of issues.
So if you allow me, what I understand is it's kind of very interesting. Number one is that we can get loans and then we can get subsidy on that loan. So 25% of the loan would be subsidized by the government.
No. Probably you have got it wrong. When the loan is sanctioned, there are different schemes, not one scheme.
Okay.
Now, every business model, even in your tourism and traveling industry, everybody's business is different. Somebody may be a car bus operator.
Correct.
Somebody may be a resort owner or hotel owner. Somebody may be only arranging the tours, not having any cars or hotels. They are just contacting. So everyone's need is different. It is not uniform, though the industry looks like one, but there are different kinds of operators. So there are different kinds of needs.
Okay.
So you have to choose, or you will be guided to choose what suits your personal or your business interest the best.
Okay. So 25%, what I understand is for the upgradation, the loan that has been taken, and there will be a less interest and there will be no collateral request, because I can see there are 2 questions where there in the chat box. There will be no collateral request or like required to obtaining this loan. And of course, the bank will be delivering the loan and the interest would be less if I apply as a MSME, because I understand I have a question here that some banks are asking that, that interest.
No, let me clarify one thing. What I am talking about all these loans, Final amount will be given by the banks, definitely. Banks and SIDBI for you. There are NABARD, other agencies for agriculture, other kind of loans. So SIDBI, implementing agencies of MSME who controls this funding, Government of India, and commercial banks in a tie-up will give you this. But first you have to apply to MSME, not to directly to bank. If you apply directly to bank, it is not possible for bank to extend you the loan under MSME. So your application has to be processed by the Ministry of MSME. Then they will direct the bank that yes, this loan fits under this scheme. So you allow this person or this company this amount of loan. So the loan process has to be with the MSME. You have to furnish all the documents, your income tax filing, your GST returns, your Aadhaar number, etc. Obviously, I mean, only issues that a loan can be considered only if you are registered with the Ministry of MSME, Government of India. Otherwise, the question of support from MSME does not arise. So once you register, you apply for loan, you seek guidance that what kind of loan or what kind of scheme is beneficial for my particular project or for my particular business. So that you can always take the help after discussion through phone or visiting office. And there are people who will really guide you, and there are no charges are there for that. It is free. So you can take the help. And then they can guide you that out of these schemes and these benefits, it is all available in the website also. So you can thereafter choose that what particular issue actually benefits. As I think that there are different schemes because of different categories of people, different categories of business. Even under your industry, as I have told, that there are different kinds of requirements. So on the basis of the requirements, and these requirements will also be studied by the MSME before forwarding that to the bank. So they will also see a lot of issues that what is the chance of recovery, etc. Since MSME is standing guarantee and you are not furnishing any kind of guarantee to the bank, and MSME ministry is furnishing the guarantee on your behalf. So obviously they will check that what is the chance of recovery, etc. But once it goes through, to get the bank loan immediately, because banks have no say in this matter. Once it comes through MSME, from the Ministry of MSME, the loan is sanctioned, banks is just giving you the money. That's all.
So does it apply for the for obtaining overdraft facility or cash credit facility from the bank?
No, I have told you that whatever cash credit facility or other issues, that is normal commercial transaction.
Okay.
MSME loan is different. It is not a CC account. You can keep the money in a CC account if you like, but issue is that it is branded as MSME loan because it is coming directly from the Ministry of MSME.
Okay. So what are the other benefits of becoming a MSME registered? For example, I have heard that, like, for credit recovery, like, for recovery, payment recovery from the market, like, if I've given credit to some company, like, to recover with getting registered with MSME, that helps a lot to recover the payment within 45 days.
Yes, that has also come. That has also come. If you are going for some kind of bad debt, or I mean, you are finding it very difficult to pay the loan of the banks, the government has decided to stand guarantor, and that is, it may not be a normal loan. Then the government stands guarantor to undertake 20% of the debt.
Okay.
But issue is that that will be difficult if you are not registered with MSME. Actually, that has been announced where already registered under MSME, who have already taken MSME loans, and now they are finding it difficult to pay to the bank. So since Ministry of MSME stood guarantor for them, so they are underwriting their debt up to 20% of it, and they are telling the banks, you don't recover that, we will pay.
Okay. What are
But
the
I
other,
think
like,
that may not be applicable to a person who is going to be registered with MSME or who has not taken any loan from Ministry of MSME.
Okay. Now, what are the other benefits, Mr. Paramanik? There are a lot of other benefits. If you can very quickly and briefly tell us that other
So
benefits which.
these three schemes are the main benefits,
Okay.
and there are a lot of spin-offs of that. So,
Okay.
but for you, I think, I mean, for rural agricultural credits, there are other benefits that is not applicable for you, because there are a lot of schemes are there under rural agricultural. NABARD gives some other benefits, but I'm not telling because that is not applicable to you. Yours is a purely commercial venture, tourism and travel industry, in the service sector. So these three schemes are applicable to you.
Okay. So, and then if you can highlight that what are the procedures for getting registered as MSME? I heard that, like, I know that it's a very simple process, and whether somebody, like, I think most of our members are not registered as MSME. So if those members they get themselves registered like from today or like, within next couple of days, will they be able to get the same benefits or not?
First of all, one thing I would suggest that you can yourself directly register with MSME, but be very careful about what category you fill down. Because as I have stated that whether it is micro, small or medium and how it is defined, if you register in a wrong category, you cannot change that category within 2 years. Please remember. So one have to be very actually seeing that what is your income tax returns, your GST returns, if it is available. Aadhaar is normal. There is nothing to be seen in Aadhaar. It is only has to be linked. So you can also take the help of the implementing agencies of the Ministry of MSME, who helps in registration as well as who gives you the loan. So that way, and they can also help you what kind of loan or subsidy, if anything, will be helpful to you. So if you either talk to them with phone, because there is only one national implementing agency which is working in West Bengal, Northeast and Eastern region, we have demarcated that. So if you take the help of that agency and you tell them your income tax file, what are your turnover, what are the investments. So these are very, very crucial because they examine those things. So when you register, you must be very clear. So there should not be any ambiguity in your papers, particularly in the income tax papers. And it is after examining, they will suggest that you register under this, or they will register you themselves. You don't have to bother, and they don't charge any fees for that. Only you have to pay the official registration fees of the ministry for registration, very nominal. But I would suggest that because you are new and you have not been exposed to MSMEs, before registration is very easy, not a big issue. But what is important is under which category you register. Doing, say, for your last 3-4 years income tax return, that shows that what is your turnover and other issues. And then they can also help you, and you get your certificate within, I think, maximum 2 days.
So do you have a helpline?
Our CA also can help us to register under what category we should register, in fact. Because CA knows about our balance sheet and everything, and he can always, suggest us, advise us that under micro or small or medium, where you have to apply for the MSME, I think.
So, but I think that we have got categories in it, and tour travel companies fall under category number 79. I think that's the category we have for our industry.
So, Mr. Paramanik, do you have a helpline number which member can note down, and then they can call and then?
Please note it down. I am giving that.
This is the helpline number for Eastern region, I believe.
Yeah. What about the North India? Do you have any North India agency who can really help us? Mr. Paramanik?
Yes, yes. Acha, just note down. This is the number of the chairman of the National Implementing Agency, Dr. Prosenjit Bose, 9999 77 2573.
Mm-hmm.
So 49772573. Dr. Prosenjit Bose is the chairman of the National Implementing Agency of the Ministry of MSME, Government of India, who looks after Eastern Zone, Northeastern Zone entirely. And the website is KBSK Enterprise. KBSK.
Yeah.
KBSK Enterprise. MSME.in. If you open the website, then you have to log in the website. You need not have to call him or visit the office or something, but first you open the website and the procedures are all there. So you just simply log, they will ask for some details, you fill up those details and you pay the national registration fees. Automatically, they may ask you a few questions, actually what is your turnover, etc., etc. And then you can have your registration within, I think, 2 days. I am telling you. Secondly, if you require any loan or whatever kinds of, there are various kinds of loans. So in the MSME sector, because for service sector of your travel and tourism industry, so you fall under service sector. So for service sector, there are specific loans. So you can avail and you can give a call or you can ask any other of them that what are the loans? This is the condition of my business. So what kind of loan I can have? So they can also guide you that this is the scheme which fits you the best and you have to apply for the loan in a specified format. I think that it gets processed within 10 days. After that, it goes to bank. And bank also takes decision within 1 week or so. So maximum 15 to 17 days, they get the money.
And Mr. Pramanik, this is the same person who handles the North Zone also, like north of India, Delhi and other places?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Paramanik, there are, I think,
another point, just a minute, another issue, if you want to do it yourself directly, some of you are telling, no, we have a chartered accountant, etc. Yeah. So if you don't require the help of the National Implementing Agency for registration or loan, etc., you can do it directly from your mobile itself, uddogadhar.gov.in. So you have to give your Aadhaar number, then they will send an OTP to your mobile, and they will also ask some questions. You have to fill up the questionnaire, and then it will be automatically registered. You pay them the fees, the normal fees, and you will be registered. But only issue is that this process, again, registration is not the big issue. Issue is getting the loan, whether how to establish your eligibility for the loan. Then again, you have to come to the national agency, because all the loans are processed through the national agencies. Whenever an application is sent to the Ministry of MSME, it comes to the national agency, National Implementing Agency, for processing the loans, and then they will sit over it, they will judge over it, and then they will also ask for the documents. They will sit with SIDBI, they will analyze it, and then they will forward it to banks. That is the entire process.
And so what will be the interest they're going to charge? That is as per the bank or as per MSME?
No, it is as per MSME. It is, bank interest has got no relevance here. Once you are obtaining a loan from the MSME, which is processed by MSME, Ministry of MSME, it is not linked to your normal commercial bank rate. Supposing now bank rate of interest of loan normal 8 to 9%, but I told you that you are getting it at 5%. So no bank can give you any interest if you go to any bank. No bank, it is not possible for any bank to give you an interest rate of 5%.
Yes. Mr. Paramanik, is this a specific banks like cooperative banks, nationalized bank, SDBI, commercial banks, state financial corporations, or other private banks are also like, we can approach them through MSME?
First of all, you don't have to approach any bank at all.
No, I'm telling you, like, which bank
please try to understand. Please try to understand. Every state level, there is a bankers committee. So how many, which bank will allocate how much fund in this kind of schemes, that is already decided in the state level bankers committee. So, and SIDBI, NABARD, National Implementing Agency, KBSK, they are all part of that committee. So initially, normally it takes place at the beginning of the year. Even it is reviewed after every quarter. So quota of every bank is fixed. So it is the National Implementing Agency which decides, and SIDBI which decides that which bank to approach. Supposing if someone's bank quota is full, so that bank cannot take. So some other bank has to be told. So this choice of bank is decided by the Ministry of MSME with SIDBI, and they decide that supposing you are staying in, suppose you have your tour operator is in Jalpaiguri. So Jalpaiguri, suppose 3 banks has been given this task. So one bank's quota is full. Now you have got a good relation with that bank, but you can't get that loan from that bank because his quota is full. So you have to be given other 2 banks, any of these 2 banks. Okay. So this is the process.
Okay. Now it's clear. So I have heard that there are some provision of waivers of stamp duty and registration fee exemption under direct tax laws, like tax holidays in the initial years of registration, subsidy on barcode registration. Is this like available to the registered members?
Yes. So what happens is that as you are aware of the income tax provisions, so if you don't maintain any proper books of accounts, may not be, some may have chartered accountant, some may not afford chartered accountant, or someone's scale may be low. Up to 5 crore rupees of turnover. Please remember, up to 5 crore rupees of turnover, you don't have to audit your books of accounts. You don't have to keep any chartered accountant. If all your transactions up to 95% is done through digital, means credit card, debit card, bank, etc.
Okay.
And up to 5% of cash transaction is allowed.
Okay.
So, and for this kind of transactions, you fall under a special category under income tax. There, you get 20% relief in income tax. How? Normally, under section 44 AD or 44 AE of the Income Tax Act, normally your income is calculated or your profit is calculated on the basis of turnover. Without, this is called summary assessment, without any looking into your books of accounts. There, the profit rate is taken as 8%. But if you come under this scheme, say only digital and only up to 5% of cash, up to 5 crore of amount of turnover, that is your micro level. What I am talking is of the micro level. Then your income will be treated as only 6% of the turnover. Income tax department won't look into what kind of expenditure you have spent. You may have earned 50% profit, but income tax department is not going to charge you on that 50%. Income tax department will treat your income as only, or net profit as only 6% of your turnover. That means if you have a 5 crore turnover, so 6% comes to only 30 lakhs. So your net profit will be 30 lakhs, but in practically it can happen in service sector or in your industry also that actually you have earned maybe 2 crores out of 5 crore, but you don't have to pay tax on 2 crore. You will pay tax only on 30 lakhs. So whatever tax is payable on 30 lakhs, you have to pay. So that is the advantage, and without maintaining any books of accounts, without keeping a chartered accountant, without even maintaining any accounts at all or any accountant at all. Not forget about chartered accountant. You don't have to bother about keeping an accountant or paying any salary for an accountant. It is automatic. It is as per provisions of the law. Only issue, all your transactions has to be digital.
So that means if a turnover is like whatever we earn or whatever the income is, irrespective of the income, the government will calculate only 6% of the total turnover.
Yes, that is the provisions of Income Tax Act.
And the smaller company do not have to maintain any kind of accounting infrastructure. They just have to do the entire transaction on internet. That's
on digital mode.
All digital mode.
Digital means your debit card, credit card, check. That's it.
So I think
other than cash, anything other than cash, UPI, Bheem, whatever.
So I think this would give a very big relief to small companies, standalone companies, where they always find it very difficult, closer to the closing of financial year to maintain all those papers and documents. This is a very interesting.
You just leave your papers to the dustbin. You just throw your papers to the dustbin. Just maintain whatever your digital transaction is. If any question is raised as to whether you have crossed the 5 crore limit or have not crossed, you just show them the digital transactions, that this is my digital transaction. This is my tour operator, because you yourselves are quite competent to maintain what kind of two things you are maintaining. So nobody is going to look into your expenditure part. Main accounting comes from your expenditure part. Where is your expenditure? This, that you can forget about your expenditure. We are only talking about turnover. So if your turnover is less than 5 crore, you don't require to maintain books of accounts.
No, sir, but the main problem is if the government considered total turnover and 6% as our income, but actually 6% is not the income. The income is actually for around varies from 2 to 3% only. If we book an air ticket, say for 1 lakh rupees, income is not 6,000. Income is probably 500 to 1,000 rupees.
I have talked about the general provisions of income tax.
Okay.
You are booking some air ticket, you are charging only commission. There may be some persons who are arranging for some tourists to go for a car. He are booking some hotels. So his margin may be much higher. His margin actually may be 20-25% or 30-40%. But he will be paying only 6% as the margin. That is the issue.
Okay. So
it is up to you. That's what I'm saying, that it is up to you whether you avail of this scheme or not. It is not compulsory.
Okay.
Option is yours.
Okay. So there is also other informations like 50% discount on trademark registration, very easy to open current account with the bank, easy to get approvals for licensing and registration, recognition from customer, and plus 1% exemption on interest rate in case of overdraft. Is this also be routed through your department?
No. I think this is something licensing fee and etc. MSME has nothing to do with it. Probably licensing comes under state government. So that is a completely different scenario. That for that you have to talk to the state government. What are the procedures? So I mean, every state has got their different promotional avenues. So it varies from state to state.
Okay. Okay.
And can I ask one thing? A question. As regard this, the statement which MSME which has changed actually, it is, I think, only applicable manufacturing and service to micro level agents only, from 1 crore to 5 crore. Or is it also possible for the small and medium sized industries also, or the tour operators also?
No, micro, small, medium, the category has changed from yesterday.
Okay, they have just changed.
So micro, small, medium categories have changed from yesterday. Income tax provisions, as I have stated, that is different from MSME. So that is the provision. There is no mention it has to be MSME. That is the financial criteria. That is the turnover criteria. So these two things should not be merged. But since it is the 5 crore, now MSME criteria for micro in turnover has come as 5 crore. So automatically it now envisages that these two things are similar. But the income tax provision is there for last more than 1 year. This new concept or new definition of MSME has come only yesterday. So these two things are different.
It means the statement which has come yesterday, it applies to all the sectors and manufacturing as well as the service sector also.
Definitely.
For all the levels.
Because what was the earlier, if you look at the 2006 Act of MSME, the definition of manufacturing and services were different. The ceiling of manufacturing and services were different. Now both manufacturing and services, these two ceilings have been merged and it has enhanced. Well, another issue which I would like to point out, very, very vital issue. These all are about loans, working capital, boosting of working capital, etc. Now, what about the demand in tourism sector? How to boost up the tourism sector in post-COVID scenario? Have you thought about that?
That's a challenge, sir.
That would be a real challenge.
No, that's the reason MSME has come into existence, to take the loans from that, and will do that.
No, I think Mr. Paramanik is trying to highlight something very
important. Just a lighter note, yes.
So, issue is that even this issue is a very vital issue, travel and tourism sector. How to give relief to the travel and tourism sector and how to boost up the economy. What I am saying is how to boost up the Indian economy through travel and tourism sector. 2 days ago, in the conference of the Prime Minister with the Chief Ministers, as I have come to know, this issue took a prominent place. So, even with all these things of while we are fighting with this COVID scenario, and there is an almost total stoppage in tours and travels, people are very afraid to move out unless absolutely necessary. So leisure travel, conference, corporate conference, at present is out of the question. But still, the government is thinking to open up the tourism, tours, etc. first in the green zone, then selectively in the orange zone, but red zone will be out of bounds. You have to think of the new normal scenario which has come into India. And the government is emphasizing on domestic tourism, not only for the domestic tourists, but even for the foreigners. Maybe flights might be kept open from next month or so. Already some special flights have started. Maybe from next month or so, flights will be, next month or within the 2 months, flights will be visiting regularly. So the green zone like Goa, large parts of Kerala, some parts of West Bengal, many parts in Northeast, you can explore what are the green zones and how to expand your business in the green zones. One thing is very clear, what the Prime Minister has said, what health experts are saying, that COVID has come here to stay. Even if we wish, it is not going to go away within a month or 2. So if it lingers for 1 or 2 years, you have to find out some strategy as how to cope up with this COVID scenario, and as well how to boost up your tourism sector in an alternative way. That thinking must take place. You have to survive. No loan, no subsidy can actually make you survive in this cutthroat competition. This is a stopgap measure because you have to pay the loan. Even if you get some subsidy for the time being, that will help you out. But in the long run, ultimately, you have to come up with a competitiveness and with an income generation in your tourism business. So I think that you focus on this issue. I have some points. I am not a tour or tourism expert like you, but considering the constraints of movement, etc. Even today I was discussing with some senior people, maybe government will come up with some tourism policy in the COVID scenario. It will be coming soon. But before that, you can think of how to spread your tourism in the green zone, not for the time being, not basing on big hotels where lots of people has to be put in, but in some selective, secluded spots, say resort kind of thing, or where cottage type of thing, where people, I mean, one family or only very close friends can be put together and with a separation of 10 meters or so. And you can also think of giving buses with very limited number of people who can travel, or you can provide cars with families. So for the time being, corporate conference may be out of the questions, but people are really, really struggling to get out. And as soon as the policy is announced by the government for allowing limited amount of tourism, people will make a beeline. I am sure about that. You have just seen that when these liquor shops are opened, just one announcement, millions of people were outside in all over India because nobody thought that there will be so much of rush. So the same thing will happen to tourism sector once government tells that, okay, this is open, and the thinking is already on how to open the tourism sector phase by phase, particularly firstly in green zone, then in some orange zones where the contamination is less, and then the rest of the orange zone, keeping the red zones out of it. So just give it a thinking, and I think you can have some plans. Secondly, as you might be aware, even yesterday it has been announced by the finance minister that we will give total boost up to e-commerce and e-support to the MSME sector. Now, if you are an operator in whatever format in a tour travel business, different categories, you have to reach to the people. At present, you don't have that kind of fund to advertise, even if tourism starts, to advertise through newspaper, TV channels, or whatever other modes, that we are doing this because everybody is facing a fund crisis. But you have to reach the people, you have to tell the people we are open, we are doing this or we are doing that. So what we have thought in the ministry is to open a website, particularly for tour and tourism ministry, travel and tourism operators, giving them access central government level so that we can pool all of them who are under MSME, pool all of them, and in the government website giving that these operators or these persons are giving this kind of facilities, so anybody can access that and can reach you with all your phone numbers, with all your things, and whatever dates you are going for any kind of tours or whatever arrangements, there can be various kinds, so that can be obtained. So this will also be launched very soon, within 1 month. So if you get registered in MSME, you give your details of the tour of area of operation, you will get full governmental support for that.
Wonderful.
How can we give this information? Where, on the website or to the ministry? Where?
No, I have already given you the website. So
okay,
first you register as an MSME operator.
We have done this. Most of us have done this.
After you give them, then you give all your details, then for uploading in the website, government website,
Okay.
And then we will give, I think within 1 month, it will be operational. We are trying very hard. This is being done by NIC, National Informatics Center. So in that website, whatever information you have, you can easily upload. There will be pages for all of you. And regional wise, say in Calcutta, Assam, Guwahati, Assam, say maybe Kaziranga, Assam, maybe Telangana, Assam, or Tamil Nadu, Assam. So all will be localized. Everybody can be accommodated who are registered with the government.
That's a very interesting piece of information, Mr. Paramanik. But I have a small request, because since we all come under the Ministry of Tourism, we have our own accreditation system, recognition system. Because I know you are into the advisory board, so maybe you can tag it with the Ministry of Tourism, because for example, I was thinking a few minutes back that if I don't maintain any kind of papers like balance sheet and all pros, then Ministry of Tourism, they would be requiring some documents when I apply for an approval or this thing. So maybe my advice would be to kindly, if you can coordinate with Ministry of Tourism, that will make things. But this would be certainly a very good opportunity for all of us to take some support from through MSME in terms of business and marketing.
No, actually, I am telling we are coordinating with Ministry of Tourism, with the Ministry of Tourism, and this will be a joint exercise.
Okay, that's wonderful. That would be wonderful.
Yeah.
So I think that is almost to cover up everything, every information. We'll pick up some question, but before I'll start with Mr. Sarkar and Mr. Khanna. If you have any specific question for Mr. Paramanik, can we please go ahead? Then I will take questions from the members.
Or a suggestion.
Yeah, suggestion of whatever suggestion. Maybe you have a suggestion or question.
I think Mr. Paramanik has given a very, very detailed and very positive feedback, and it was very interesting to know, because most of us are not aware of the benefits and the requirement. Though it is started 2 years before, but most of us have yet not registered with the MSMEs. So it is going to give a big boost, and your last message is very, very important, that domestic is going to start with green zone and orange zone. It is going to really give a very positive note. I have only one question, that for MSME, any segment, whether it is micro, small or medium, do they have to be a proprietor company, or it can be a private limited company also?
No, any kind of entity, it can be a proprietorship, it can be a LLP, means limited liability partnership, it can be a partnership, it can be a fully directed like company. Any kind of entity can come. Only criteria is your investment or turnover. That is the only issue.
It also covers ATC company, which is non-profit companies.
What?
It also covers ATC companies, which is non-profit companies.
I can't hear you properly. What you are saying?
So he's talking about Section 8 companies, which was earlier at Section 25. Now Section 8 companies, which are basically non-profit entities, non-profit company registered under ROC.
So they also come under MSME.
I mean, for MSME criteria, whether it is a company or not a company, that is not the issue.
Okay.
It can be a firm also.
Okay.
It can be a proprietorship concern. There are many entities who runs in his own name, which is not a company at all. They are also able to benefit from these schemes.
Okay. Anything specific, Mr. Khanna?
No, thank you very much, Priya Manik, that you have really briefed to all the members. And definitely, a lot of our members, they will be benefiting out of it, and they will be definitely registering for the MSME. Only one thing I want to know, is it really necessary that those who are not registered under the GST, can they also be registered under the MSME if they are not registered of the GST?
Well, for GST, as you know, in the service sector, if your turnover is less than 10 lakhs, then you don't have to be registered under GST. Now, I think for a turnover of 10 lakhs, almost everyone will be above 10 lakhs turnover.
It is 20 lakhs, but proposed
now 20 lakhs. Now 20 lakhs for service sector. Yes.
Okay.
For West
Because
Bengal,
few of
it
our
varies from
members,
state to
they
state.
are less than 20 lakhs. It is a question from them actually. So that exactly wanted to
No,
clarify
if
that
you
few
are,
of the members.
if your turnover is less than that and you are not required to be registered, then you can say, I have no GST number because I am not,
Yeah, correct.
is there. My ceiling is low.
One
No,
small
thank you
thing,
very
like, you know,
much. I think, yeah, correct. No, thank you very much, Mr. Premanik. I think you have briefed very well. And let us go for the MSME. We'll request all the members to go for that and take the benefit out of it.
Acha, Mr. Paramanik, one simple question. Do I need to renew? If somebody got registered, do they need to renew that registration, or it is by default gets renewed?
If someone is already registered in MSME,
Yes, yes.
yes, if it is, once they are registered, it is registered.
Okay, so there is no, renewal is required. No renewal is
No,
required.
once you are registered, you have got your number.
Okay.
But only issue that I have said that if your business have increased or if you want to change the category, then you have to wait for 2 years from the date of registration. Within 2 years, you cannot change the category of registration because there are all different categories.
One-time registration only.
One-time registration for 2 years. Okay. Now, I would like to take questions from our audience. We have a huge gathering here. So maybe what do you suggest? Chetan, should we take it one from the question answer section, or should we follow the raise hand and then unmute that person and to ask question?
I think we'll take the questions first. Then probably we can go for raise hand.
Okay. So I'll take it from the front. So, do we still require collateral if taking loans to reduce interest rate from other loans? It's from Aditya Botra. So, for this loan, collateral is not required. I think this has already been cleared.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Dalip Gupta asked, does it apply to OD limit for also taken for business? I think we have already explained this question. Tirthankar asked something, but he has got the answer. What about State Bank of India? Divyendu Maiti asks, what about the State Bank of India? Are they eligible like SEBI? Please clarify. Yes.
Should be.
No, there is no such distinction of State Bank of India or your Bank of Baroda or say for that matter any other bank. There is no such thing. Many banks, almost all the banks in India are covered under the tie-up with MSME. Only that every bank is given some quota. Now, if someone has gone directly to SBI without MSME, then that is bank's own loan. I mean, millions of people do that. So that is not falling under MSME.
Okay. So sort of, we have other question, but I think those questions has already been answered during the discussion. Saurav Agarwal asked, do we get subsidy for trademark registration under MSME scheme? I think it's yes. We get subsidy under for registering trademarks. Mr. Paramanik?
Yes.
Do we get subsidy for trademark registration under MSME?
No, there is no such. And MSME means it is Government of India. So for trademark registration, there is no subsidy. There may be some state government subsidy, because there can be, but Ministry of MSME does not provide any subsidy. The subsidy is for giving you working capital.
Okay. So Tirthankar, they asked, how beneficial will this MSME relief package for the travel startups? Somebody just started and he faced this kind of challenge. So how beneficial that this can be?
So he will be immensely beneficial. He will be immensely beneficial. So he requires a huge kind of working capital to start up. So he can avail of either the credit-linked subsidy scheme, or he can also avail this minimal interest loan scheme, 5% interest loan scheme. Either way, he will be the gainer.
Okay. Okay. In terms of investment, it's a question from Mr. Saurav Agarwal. Can we include the cost of office premises if purchased? So if somebody buy an office space, will that be applicable for in this?
Investment criteria is as per your income tax record. Okay. So when you invest something, so you have already shown that in your balance sheet. So that balance sheet figure will tell what is your investment figure.
Okay. Okay. What are the required documents to get MSME loan? Or it would be as per the GOM. So you have a specific, set of documentation required, or it would be as per the individual's bank's requirement.
No,
This has been asked by
actually,
Shantanu Maiti.
actually
Not the banks.
there are lot of documentation. Some documentations. The majority of the documentation is your income tax record. Whether you get the loan or don't get the loan basically depends on only one document, that is your income tax record. And there it shows what capability you have to pay the loan. So if you have something and where the details are there, how many employees are there, or there are certain issues, how many employees or what is the salaries, there is a specified format. So you have to provide it to the format as per the
Wonderful. Wonderful. And last question from Sayan Chakravarti. I think this is a very important question, and many of us has got this confusion, the difference between Udyog Aadhaar and MSME registration. I know it is the same, but I think most of the members has got this confusion. The Udyog Aadhaar and MSME registration are two different processes. If you can kindly enlighten us regarding.
I have already told that if someone wishes to register in directly to MSME, he can go to Udyog Aadhaar. So if you go to Udyog Aadhaar, then you enter the MSME website. They ask for some OTP number. They immediately send some OTP to your mobile. Then you can register with the OTP. Then they ask for a lot of details. You furnish the details, then you get yourself registered. There is no issue in that, and it takes hardly half an hour.
So what is the difference?
But the point is that if you make any mistake while filing, because it is a little bit complicated form, who have not filed up early, so he may feel a little difficult in filling up the forms. So what I have suggested in the very beginning of my thing, for that you take the help of the National Implementing Agency who are available, and you take their help. You can go to their website, you contact them through website or over phone, and you seek some guidance. They will tell you how to fill up, or if you give them the details, they will fill it up for yourself. You don't have to take that headache. And that serves two purposes. First of all, your things are already known to them. What kind of documents are required, they will help you what kind of documents. Secondly, if you are registering not only for merely registering, but for a further, you have an intention of taking some benefit from being registered as an MSME. So if you register to the National Implementing Agency, that helps you in getting the loan because already your case is processed.
Okay. Okay, that's wonderful. I think that's clarified this thing. So I have covered all the questions here.
I think Nilanjan Basuji is here. He has put in a question. We'll take this question. Then we'll take the raise hand. We'll ask people to come in. How many times we can take loan in single financial year? If we have to say like a resort. One moment, sir. If we have to say a resort, a transport section, another lease hotel, etc., etc. Is there any limitation? Who will check that? Mr. Basu is asking like how many times we can take a loan in a single financial year?
No, that depends on your requirement. That depends on your repaying capacity. So that will be decided by the Minister of MSME.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
There is no such hard and fast rule.
Right. So I'm taking a couple of questions where people have raised hand. First is our member, editor member Ekta Watts. I think Amit is here and he has a question to ask. Amit, if you can unmute yourself and speak, sir.
Yeah. Are you able to hear me now?
Yeah, good enough.
Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Amit Watts. I represent Equator Tours in Delhi. Now, my question is that this is a self-registration, sir, as you said, and we will be doing it. But my question is very practical. Out of error, we come into a wrong category. And you say that stays for 2 years. Isn't there any edit option? Isn't there any changing option? Because this is something we are doing on our own. And if it picks up a wrong category, how do we come back to something which is actually practical and which is the fact and figure which we wanted to project there? But things have changed. We come into a wrong category. What do we do now? We can't sit for 2 years.
I think I have already answered that question.
Mr. Paramanik, if you can allow me, I can add something to this. now since we are going through a period of crisis, and this has become very important for all the travel tourism sector people to become like register themselves with MSME, and more people are actually getting themselves registered. Can we request the government to get this relaxation? Actually, if we have done any mistake or we do any mistake, there can be an opportunity for us within 1 month or 2 months to rectify those mistakes instead of waiting for 2 years, because that will affect a lot of people. So can we put this forward through all our national body together with ITO and EDI2Y, like, if we can apply to the MSME department that, if that can be relaxed for us, is that possibility? Is that a possibility?
No, that's why I said that yes, some people made that mistake, and that's why we have come up with that idea that since the people who may not be are aware of what kind of category, what kind of things, how to fill up, I mean, there is some problem in filling up if someone is not very much conversant and someone has not worked with MSME, they are entering for the first time. So that's why I'm told you that you take the help of some professionals who are doing that. I mean, they're a government body. So people are helping you free of cost. So that is not an issue. And you can take their help and get it registered properly after sending the documents. And also it will help you getting the benefit in the future. Because once you fill it up, it is wrong, then you have to wait, then you don't get the benefits. Obviously, you will feel, quite bad about it.
No, we will be very careful for right now. We will be very careful for sure. But I am talking about people like, this gentleman who's already done the mistake. Already we have done the mistake, then we have to wait for 2 years.
I mean, you are talking about changing the rules.
No, that can be a relaxation or something.
No,
can be
that means changing the rules.
No.
That means the present rule is that you cannot change it within 2 years. That means you are asking for a relaxation in the rules.
Yeah, that can be extended considering the current crisis situation.
Supposing MSME is not for tour and travel industry, no, it is for the entire Indian economy, and there are so many sectors. So it cannot be changed for one sector. If the minister takes some decision, we can get to know about it.
So I would like to request both Mr. Sarkar and Mr. Khanna to take it further with the MSME department to write to them and make this specific point that once somebody has already registered, he has done some mistakes. Since the tourism industry is there, we are kind of new to this MSME sector. So we are, a lot of new people are coming. This is the third largest industry. Some relaxation can be granted for us considering the crisis situation. I think that we can always try. So,
yes. I think, we are complicating the whole thing. There, if you register yourself, it is only the category, only maybe the mistake. So doesn't matter if the category is changed from yesterday. Wherever you are, you will continue to do your business and get the benefits. So I don't think any such serious mistake will be done unless you are filling properly. They will not accept also. I think that is the online system. Online
that's online
system. Very easy. That once you are filling, it is acceptable. They accept the paper. If it is not acceptable, they will not accept the paper immediately. So therefore, I think what Mr. Paramanik is saying is absolutely right. It is for the entire India, all the industries. We have to see case by case, and then only we can proceed. Otherwise, I don't think.
So we can always get a collective information, and member can write to us that this is, so we can then take a call after that.
Right. Anyway, very well said. I'm taking Amit. I think that satisfies your question, sir.
I really appreciate. Thank you so very much, everyone.
Thank you. Next caller we have Mr. Manmeet Singh, our chapter chairman from Punjab. He is also chairman for IATO and EDI2Y, working on both the platforms. Mr. Manmeet, if you can listen to me, please unmute yourself. And please brief to the question, sir. We don't have much of time, so please brief to the question.
Thank you, Mr. Paramanik, for the great session. Sir, I'd like to ask one question that you said that the companies who are startup can also avail the MSME benefits in terms of loan. So if a startup company is there, they do not have any financial documentations to be suffice, not the income tax return or any other document. So uh, is it practically possible that finally their file will get an approval and they'll get a loan from your ministry or from MSME department?
Yes, yes, it can be, but you have to give some estimate then of what is your investment, etc., or likely and what you require. But then obviously you have to be categorized as a micro because it is up to 5 crore of turnover. Since if you don't have a turnover or if your investment is less than 1 crore, so if you can't prove, then you have to show, I mean, under the micro category.
Sir, 5 crores is a sizable amount, and anybody who is going into a startup.
5 crore is turnover. 1 crore is your investment. So startup will have some investment, no?
Okay, so we'll have to show for our investment that we are investing 1 crores, and then we are seeking for loan for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So that's more advisable rather than if we are opening up another entity. And we give suffice our documentations of the current entity in which we are doing the business. Is that advisable, or a new startup without any documentation is advisable?
No, I mean, it varies from case to case. So, I mean, there can't be any general rule without going into the business pattern or business details. So one startup can be somebody starting a hotel. That is also a startup. Yeah. Or somebody starting a car tour operator with some fleet of cars. Maybe he has taken it some loans or something. So, I mean, definitely there are, I mean, whenever you are asking for loan, you have to specify for which you are asking the loan. So there has to be some kind of a criteria.
Right, sir. Thank you.
We'll take one last question because we are quite ahead of schedule. Like, we are almost, running 30 minutes. I have requested Mr. Paramanik to allow us 30 minutes and now he is there with us for 1 hour and 30 minutes more than that. So one last question, please. Then, we will close this session.
So you want to take a question, I will invite people to come online, or you will take the question from chat section? Because there are many people who have put in the question in chat. So, Devajita, if you can see the chat, there are many questions people are asking on it.
There are a lot of questions in the chat. And
so if 1 or 2 questions you want to take it on, valid question.
Okay. Saurabh Sharma, sir, what is the criteria for the extension of loans one gets? He wants to know what is the criteria for extension of loans.
No, what loan? It has not been specified. No, so there are different kinds of loans. Every loan has got different kind of criteria.
Okay.
So unless you specify under which category the loan falls, it is very difficult to answer.
Okay. Achha, if somebody is a leaseholder, it's a question from Somen Chatterjee. Somebody is a leaseholder. In which category, is there any provision in MSME to obtain loan for taking lease?
No. Issue is loans are given for your working capital. So if you take some property on lease, definitely you can have it. It cannot be. It is not that you have to own everything. It is not possible.
So with this, I think we can close this session. I would like to thank Mr. Paramanik for all his input, valuable input. It was wonderful and amazing session. I think all the members present there, they will be benefited out of this session. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing all those valuable information with us. I would like to thank Mr. Pranav Sarkar and Mr. P.P. Khanna for being with us and be a part of this session. We are always grateful to their their blessings with us. And of course, Chetan has been wonderful, helping me to setting up the entire technical backend. Everything he has done. So, and he's volunteered for this. I must appreciate and thank Chetan. Thank you very much, members.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Many thanks. Many thanks to all of you.
Thank you, Pranay. And for members who are here, thanks for Ayato and editor members. If anyone has missed any of the points, we have recorded this meeting today, and we will put it on the YouTube and share the link with you so that you can review again what we have discussed today. So don't get bugged up that you have missed something. We have recorded the meeting and we will share the link very soon.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you
will
everyone.
record, we'll upload that on YouTube.
Appreciate.
Yeah, and we will upload that meeting. And of course, if there is any other question, members are requested to send it to us. We'll send it to Mr. Paramanik and we'll request him to spare some more time with us after this. So thank you very much and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.